Have you ever found yourself questioning your reality? Maybe someone close to you makes you feel like you're overreacting or imagining things. You start doubting your own memory, perception, or judgment, even when you know something feels off. If this sounds familiar, then you might have experienced gaslighting, one of the most insidious forms of psychological manipulation. In today's episode of Decoding Human Nature, we're diving deep into the world of gaslighting. What is it? How do you spot it? And most importantly, how can you protect yourself from falling victim to this emotional manipulation? Stay with us, because understanding gaslighting might just change the way you see the world around you. But before we dive in, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us bring you more insightful content on the complexities of human behavior. Let's get started. What is gaslighting? Gaslighting is a psychological tactic where someone manipulates another person into questioning their own perception of reality. It's not always dramatic or obvious. In fact, gaslighting often starts subtly, so it's easy to dismiss or ignore at first. The term gaslighting originates from a 1944 film called Gaslight, in which a husband manipulates his wife into thinking she's losing her sanity by dimming the gas lights and denying it when she notices. In the movie, he convinces her that she's imagining things, which ultimately leads her to doubt her own mind. But in real life, gaslighting can be more nuanced. It happens in all kinds of relationships, romantic, familial, or even in the workplace, and it's not always intentional. The manipulator might truly believe their actions are justified, but their impact on the victim is undeniable. Common gaslighting tactics. Let's break down some of the most common gaslighting tactics so you can spot them in your own life. Denial of facts or events. This is one of the most common gaslighting techniques. The manipulator might outright deny something that's clearly true. For example, you might remember a conversation clearly, but they'll insist it never happened, making you question your own memory. Rewriting history. Gaslighters often twist past events, making you believe that your memory is inaccurate. You might be told, "That's not what happened at all. You've always been the one who overreacted." This leads you to doubt your recollection of events, reinforcing the idea that you're the problem. Minimizing your feelings. A gaslighter will often dismiss your emotions or experiences by saying things like, "You're being too sensitive," or "You're just imagining things." This makes you feel like your emotions are invalid and that you're the one who's wrong, even though you're the one feeling hurt or confused. Projection. Gaslighters will project their own negative behaviors onto you. For example, if they're cheating or lying, they might accuse you of being untrustworthy or controlling, shifting the blame onto you. Isolating you. Gaslighters will often isolate their victims from others to maintain control. They might undermine your relationships, making you believe that your friends or family don't care about you or are out to get you. Shifting the blame. When confronted, gaslighters never take responsibility for their actions. They twist the conversation so that it's your fault. "You made me do this," or "This is your fault for overreacting." The psychology behind gaslighting. Now that we understand what gaslighting looks like, let's explore the psychology behind this manipulative tactic. Why do people gaslight? And how does it affect the victim? Desire for control. At its core, gaslighting is about control. The manipulator wants power over the victim's thoughts, emotions, and decisions. By making the victim question their reality, the gaslighter gains control over their actions and reactions. Lack of empathy. Many gaslighters have a diminished sense of empathy, making it easier for them to manipulate others without feeling guilty. In some cases, this might be due to narcissistic traits or deeper emotional issues. Insecurity. Some gaslighters manipulate others because of their own insecurities. By controlling how others perceive themselves, they deflect attention away from their own vulnerabilities and imperfections. Gradual manipulation. Gaslighting is rarely an overnight process. It's a slow and subtle method of manipulation, often starting with small, seemingly harmless actions that gradually escalate. The victim becomes accustomed to the manipulation, making it harder to recognize and break free. Cognitive dissonance. Gaslighters create cognitive dissonance in their victims. Victims struggle to reconcile the reality of what they're experiencing with the narrative the gaslighter is presenting. This confusion causes mental distress, making the victim more reliant on the manipulator for reassurance and validation. How gaslighting affects mental health. The effects of gaslighting on mental health can be devastating. Victims often feel a deep sense of self-doubt and confusion, which can lead to loss of confidence. Over time, the victim may lose trust in their own judgment and decision-making abilities. Their self-esteem takes a hit because they're constantly questioning themselves. Depression and anxiety. The emotional toll of being manipulated like this can cause feelings of hopelessness, anxiety, and depression. Victims often feel like they are trapped in an endless cycle of doubt and fear. Post-traumatic stress. In extreme cases, prolonged gaslighting can lead to PTSD-like symptoms, including nightmares, flashbacks, and severe emotional trauma, especially if the manipulation happens in an intimate relationship. Feeling isolated. Gaslighters often make their victims feel alone, convincing them that no one else understands them or that their experiences are invalid. This creates a feeling of isolation, further deepening the victim's emotional distress. If you've ever felt like this, know that you're not alone. The psychological damage caused by gaslighting is real, but it is possible to break free from it and reclaim your sense of self. How to recognize gaslighting in your life. So how do you recognize if you're being gaslit? Here are some signs that can help you spot gaslighting in your life. You frequently feel confused or doubt your own memory. You often apologize for things you didn't do. You feel like you're walking on eggshells around a particular person. You've started to believe you're crazy or overly sensitive, even when your feelings seem valid. You feel isolated, cut off from friends or family, and constantly put down. If you notice any of these signs, it might be time to step back and evaluate your relationships with a critical eye. How to protect yourself from gaslighting. Now that we know how to recognize gaslighting, let's look at how you can protect yourself. Trust your instincts. The first step is to trust your gut. If something feels wrong, don't second-guess yourself. Listen to your inner voice. Document everything. Keeping a journal or record of conversations can help you remember what was said and when, giving you clarity when the gaslighter tries to rewrite history. Set boundaries. Establish clear boundaries with people who manipulate or gaslight you. Don't allow their behavior to continue unchecked. Seek support. Talk to trusted friends, family, or a therapist. External validation is crucial for combating gaslighting and gaining perspective on the situation. Distance yourself. In some cases, the best option is to distance yourself from the gaslighter. This might be a difficult decision, but it's often the healthiest option for your mental well-being. Why gaslighting works. So effectively, psychological dependence. Gaslighting thrives on creating emotional dependence, where the victim feels they need the manipulator's validation to interpret reality. Fear of confrontation. Many victims avoid confronting gaslighters out of fear of escalation or losing the relationship. Cognitive dissonance. Victims often struggle to reconcile conflicting feelings of trust and betrayal, which leads them to question their perceptions. Common gaslighting phrases and their impact. "You're being too sensitive," dismisses valid emotions and invalidates the victim's experiences. "That never happened," encourages self-doubt about past events. "You're imagining things," creates a narrative where the victim feels they can't trust their mind. "You're crazy," a direct attack on the victim's sanity, which isolates them further. Gaslighting in pop culture and history. The term originates from the 1944 movie Gaslight, where a husband manipulates his wife into believing she's losing her sanity by dimming the gaslights and denying it happened. Types of gaslighting. Personal relationships. Gaslighting is most common in romantic or familial relationships where trust can be exploited. Workplace manipulation. Toxic bosses or co-workers use gaslighting to dominate or deflect responsibility. Cultural gaslighting. Societal narratives that dismiss the lived experiences of marginalized groups like racism or sexism fall under this category. Medical gaslighting. When healthcare providers dismiss a patient's symptoms or concerns as exaggerated or imagined. Early warning signs. You constantly feel the need to apologize. You second-guess your feelings or decisions. You experience frequent confusion or self-doubt after interactions with a specific person. Why people gaslight insecurity. Gaslighters often manipulate others to mask their own insecurities. Desire for control. It's about asserting dominance over someone else. Avoiding accountability. Gaslighting can be a way to deflect blame or avoid responsibility for their actions. Breaking the cycle. Empowering victims. Trust your instincts. Encourage viewers to listen to their inner voice and validate their emotions. Seek support. Therapy or talking to trusted friends can help rebuild confidence. Document interactions. Keeping a record of events helps clarify patterns of manipulation. Set boundaries. Teach viewers how to say no and assert their reality without engaging in debates with gaslighters. Exit when necessary. Sometimes walking away is the only solution for long-term healing. Recovery after gaslighting, rebuilding self-trust. Exercises like journaling or mindfulness can help victims reconnect with their sense of reality. Understanding it's not your fault. Emphasize that manipulation is a tactic of the gaslighter, not a reflection of the victim's worth. Re-establishing connections. Reaching out to supportive individuals or groups can help combat isolation. Patience in healing. Recovery takes time, and small steps are significant. Myths about gaslighting. Gaslighting only happens in romantic relationships. It occurs in workplaces, families, and even societal systems. You can easily spot a gaslighter. Gaslighting is subtle and often disguised as caring behavior. Gaslighting victims are weak. Victims are often empathetic, trusting individuals targeted for their strengths, not weaknesses. Mental well-being. Therapy. If you're feeling overwhelmed, therapy can help you rebuild your confidence and heal from the emotional damage caused by gaslighting. Gaslighting is a dangerous form of manipulation that can take a significant toll on your mental health, but you don't have to face it alone. Recognizing the signs, trusting yourself, and setting healthy boundaries are crucial steps in protecting yourself. If you or someone you know is experiencing gaslighting, remember that you deserve respect, trust, and understanding. Thank you for joining us in today's episode of Decoding Human Nature. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content. And remember, if you're dealing with gaslighting or any form of manipulation, you are not alone. You can reclaim your reality. Until next time, stay strong, stay true to yourself, and keep decoding human nature.